Theo, I noticed you have the Skyrim soundtrack in the background and some of your videos. Are you an epic gamer by any chance? I am. I consider myself to be a casual gamer. I am not. Uh, I don't play video games every day. I do enjoy Elden Ring to a certain extent. Here's what's so embarrassing though is I have owned Elden Ring since 2023. In I want to say the spring of 2023, I bought Elden Ring. It is 2025 and I have not beaten it. And the reason why I have not beaten Elden Ring is because I am still stuck playing Malekith. And I have not defeated Malekith. Maybe I should live stream myself fighting Malekith. Maybe. But last time I played Elden Ring was when did I play Elden Ring last time? It was like 2 weeks ago I played Elden Ring, maybe a week and a half ago, and I was so close to beating Malekith and died. I love Bannerlord. Great game. Love Bannerlord. Such a great game. Wonderful video game. Love Medieval 2. Total War Medieval 2. Great game. Love Far Cry 5. One of the greatest games ever. Love the Metro games. Metro Exodus being a absolute masterpiece of a video game. Loved Far Cry New Dawn. Excellent game. Grew up playing Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime on the GameCube. Great game. Loved True Crime Streets of LA. Played that growing up. GameCube. I loved Sleeping Dogs. Wonderful game. Not a lot of people played it, but Sleeping Dogs, one of the best games ever made. Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2. Amazing games. Red Dead Redemption 2 was a masterpiece. It was a perfect video game. Truly a perfect video game. I have played a bunch of the Modern Warfare games, although almost none of those games are very memorable. The story modes, you can beat them all. You can beat you could beat story mode in a Modern Warfare game in about 4 hours if you've tried hard enough. They're not that amazing. The graphics are very good, but the problem is that those games are so short that you don't really have an immersive experience. Whereas when you play Metro Exodus, Metro Exodus was such a good fucking game. Love that fucking game. Oh my god, I love that game. Such a great game. Far Cry 5, fucking masterpiece. Far Cry 5, love that fucking game. Damn, I love that game. What else? Resident Evil 4. Oh my god, dude. You cannot imagine how great Resident Evil 4 was when you played that game when it first came out in 2000 and whatever, 4. I think it came out in 2004. I played that game when it first came out on the GameCube. Could not stop playing it. I played that game so fucking much that my mother said you can only play this game once a week, and I was limited to playing RE4 once a week. And I remember the days when I wasn't playing RE4, I would just think about fucking RE4. Like, what's going to happen next? I don't know. What's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? Like, just thinking about what was going to happen in the story. And such a great game. Oh my god, RE4 on the GameCube. There was RE4 the remake, which came out last year, which was also really good because RE4 remake really kind of brought that experience of playing the game for the first time kind of back to you. Because I played RE4 so many times that the excitement of the game became dull. So playing the remake, not completely, but it sort of reinvigorated that feeling. Because when you played RE4 the first time, the graphics were amazing. And then as the years went by, you realize that the graphics were meh. So playing the remake with really great graphics brought back that experience of being excited about the gameplay and the graphics and the story. And it's just, and the gunplay in the remake, I think, is really good. Love the gunplay in the remake. Such a good game. Oh shit! There's so many games that I love. Our Resident Evil Revelations 2. Such an underrated game. It's so underrated. That Irish dude who does reviews, he's like the drunken critic or something like that. I forgot his name, but he's a redheaded Irish dude. He does reviews for movies and games. Even that dude, as critical as he is, he himself said Resident Evil Revelations 2 is an underrated game. I if you love horror games that have guns, Resident Evil Revelations 2, such a good fucking game. There's only the I played a lot of Resident Evil. The two Resident Evil games that I loved playing the most, RE4 and Resident Evil Revelations 2. I played Resident Evil Revelations. I played Resident Evil Revelations 1. Great game. It's kind of a comedy, but it was a great game. But man, Revelations 2 really got deep into the horror element. Really got deep in the horror element. It was just a masterpiece of a game. GoldenEye on the N64. I played so many hours of that on that game. Great game. I mean, now you play it, what's all pixely. But when I first played GoldenEye on the N64 many years ago, it was a great game. The first person shooting, all that, and then there was, what was it? There was the GoldenEye. When I bought GoldenEye, I bought that game in 2000. I want to say in 2002, somewhere around there, 2001. I bought that game at a used game store in California. And man, oh man, holy shit, guys. Used game stores. You want to talk about nostalgia? Just look at a photo of a used game store. It's amazing. I remember going to a used game store in the Bay Area in California, and my mom took me there, and I said, I gotta play GoldenEye. I have to. So she took me to this used game store. It was a thing to behold. Walking into the store, games everywhere. Everywhere, like PS2, N64, like old shit from the 90s. I mean, just everywhere. Thousands of games everywhere. And it wasn't even a big place. It was just literally one giant room. Games everywhere. It was like a long, wide hallway. Well, not a hallway, but a long, wide living room. Games everywhere, dude. And the people who were running this place, I mean, we are talking about the comic book salesman from The Simpsons. It was insane. Nerds everywhere, dude. And this was in 2001 or two, not one, probably '02 or '03. It was just unbelievable. I get goosebumps thinking about it. Game stores, and there was no streaming, there was no Twitch, there was no YouTube. Like, you got into that game, you didn't know what the fuck you were gonna get yourself into. It was fun, and just the surprise of the game, and just not knowing what the game would have got you so excited about a game. Now, YouTube knows exactly what kind of games you're interested in based on your searches. And the new Resident Evil game will be coming out, and YouTube is inundating you with videos of the gameplay. I don't click on them. When I think when when the RE4 remake came out or was about to come out, I watched the trailer and I said, that's it. I am not going to be watching people streaming the game, anything, because I just wanted to relive that experience of not knowing exactly what was going to happen. Now, I played the original RE4, so I had an idea of what was going to happen, but there were moments of the remake that surprised you, and I liked that. I liked being surprised. And just walking into that store in the early 2000s and seeing all these games and seeing some big fat nerd who looked like the dude who sells comic books in the Simpsons. And it's just a bunch of dudes, and it was just the room. There was nothing special about it. It was just games everywhere, and there was maybe some game posters on the wall. And I remember going up to the front desk and saying, "Do you guys have do you guys have GoldenEye?" And he's like, I never forget it. He had his two hands like this on the table, and he just looks at you and he goes, "Yeah, GoldenEye? Yeah, we have that." He walked down this area behind the counter, came back, and he had that N64 game in his hand. I remember I grabbed it. I was like, "How much is it?" He's like, "I'll give it to you for," I was like, 20 something bucks or something like that. And you didn't know. You didn't know. And that store, I guarantee you, that store doesn't exist. You know, it just doesn't exist. So do I love video games? Yes. Do I love the video game culture? I don't know about the culture, but do I love the world of video games? Yes. Do I love the warm, fuzzy feelings that video games give me? Fuck yes. Do I love the feeling of nostalgia that I can get playing a game or listening to a video game sound score? Hell yes. Do I love the feeling of getting a new game? Oh God, yes, like a drug. What I miss is the uncertainty of a game. You bought that game, you didn't exactly know what you were getting yourself into. Now I've had those experiences within recent years. So back in 2018, I bought Far Cry 5. This was my first Far Cry game. Never played a Far Cry game before. Had no idea what to expect. I didn't even watch anyone doing a review of the game. I just went to Target, saw that they were selling this game for $20, and I said, "I'm getting it." And I read the back of it a little bit, and I said, "This looks good enough." And I bought the game. Started playing that game. What an experience. I never sat there looking for a review, and I just played the fucking game. And I loved every moment of it. One of the greatest games ever made. Far Cry 5. Beautiful game. Beautiful game. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Love that game so much. The sound score, it's just the voice acting, the characters, the story. It's just masterpiece of a game, really. Malekith is such a cool name. If I get married and have a son, I might name him that. That's cool. I'm excited for the new Metroid, and Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2 are excellent. I didn't know they were making a new Metroid game. I'll have to check it out. I have a Switch, so if it's good enough, I'll get it. Must be honest, I know nothing about video games. Yeah, this is just a bunch of millennials. Most of the people who watch my videos, by the way, are millennials, according to YouTube analytics. Most of the people who watch my videos are between the ages of, I want to say 25 and 42 or something like that. It's millennials. Just know about them through my son. Ignorance and vicarious experience is bliss. No problem. Mom's worried for a boy getting sucked into the video games. Yeah, it was. I mean, it came to the point where I played so much RE4, I wouldn't stop. You know, I just kept playing. I wouldn't do my homework, nothing. Honestly, don't understand the maniacal obsession with video games. It's the same reason why people get pulled into movies. It's the same thing. It's not the same thing, but it's a similar feeling. You play a game that's really long and immersive. You get familiar with the characters. You get familiar with the concepts. You get familiar with the potential philosophical concepts in a game, like with the Metro Exodus game, or with Far Cry 5. You get familiar with all the characters and the music and just the experiences in the game mixed with the music. There's just a very emotional component to it. RE4 definitely in my top 3 favorite games. Yeah, RE4 is one of the greatest games ever made. One of the darkest games I have ever played was a game called Spec Ops. It was called Spec Ops The Line. Guys, if you want to play a really dark game, try playing Spec Ops The Line. I played it on the Xbox 360 many years ago. Such a great game, great gameplay, but man, is the story dark. Very dark game. It's like a movie. My first Far Cry was Primal. I never played Primal, but it looks really good. Yeah, but there's some great games out there. But yeah, I love video games. Love it. Just love the feeling. I love some of the aspects of game culture, not the toxic aspects, but I like listening to people talk about games. Sometimes late at night when the house is totally quiet, I will go on YouTube and I will look for reviews for games that I've played and I'll just watch them. But I don't look for any type of a review. I look for a specific style of a review. I look for a review where the person is just pontificating on the game and just talking about the game. And this habit of enjoying listening to people talk about games, it goes back to when I was a teenager. There was a channel called G4 TV back in the day. It doesn't exist anymore. They tried to do a comeback some years ago, and it totally failed because G4 decided, okay, we're gonna try to come back, but they were totally woke, so people just didn't watch it. But back in the day, man, before YouTube existed, before Twitch existed, you just watched G4. And G4 had all these shows dedicated to gaming. It was so fun. Tommy Tallarico reviewing games, talking about games. And then there was this one show. Oh, I forgot the name of the show. But it was these two chicks and one dude. They would sit there for an hour just blabbering about games. The two chicks, just like NATO, they were armed with the proper ballistics. And they knew what they were talking about, too. They knew about the games. They would sit there and talk about them. And I would watch them every day. And if they were talking about a game that I played, I would especially watch them. And there was another show. Oh, I forgot the name of it. But it was this chick. Her name was something Webb. Morgan Webb, I think her name was. And she did a show with this dude whose name I don't remember. But this chick was like NATO, armed with the proper ballistics. And they would talk about games for an hour. Oh my God. Such memories watching this show. Just spending hours watching G4 TV. Tommy Tallarico, the two chicks talking about games, the one chick and the guy whose name I don't remember talking about games. Oh man, what a time. What a time that was, man. What a time. And then once I got into, let me think. Once I got into my sophomore year of high school, I just forgot about G4 because I moved to Mexico and I was going to a high school in Mexico. And so there was no G4 TV in Mexico. So I just forgot about it, to be honest with you. And then when I got back to the States, I thought, what happened to G4? And then I found out that they changed G4 into a different channel. They got a new name, but they were talking about electronics and tech and games. So I did continue to watch some of the stuff on there. And then eventually, YouTube just took over my view time straight up. It came to the point where I didn't even really watch TV anymore. When I was in high school, when I was in my junior year of high school, I slowly just stopped watching TV. And then there came a point where I was just watching YouTube, just straight up watching YouTube. And then I remember one day it just dawned on me. I haven't watched TV in a long time. And then a couple years ago, I heard that G4 tried to do a comeback, and then they just totally failed because they did a comeback and they had this big YouTube channel and not a lot of people were watching it because it was a bunch of woke bullshit, and they didn't really bring back a lot of the hosts that we enjoyed watching. So, yeah. Sometimes I like watching gameplays for hours rather than playing. I like doing that for games that I know I'm not going to play. So, for example, there's certain games that I just won't play because they're just too weird for me. So, for example, there was a game it was called Outlast Whistleblower or Outlast something. It was a horror game where you are in a crazy house and you have to escape. And the game, I watched a little bit of the gameplay. It was so disturbing, this game. There's so much boundary crossing in this game that I would never buy it because I don't want to be playing a game. I'll just tell you, there's a part of the game where this is the most disturbing part of the game, where you go to this section of the crazy house and the whole section is ran by a guy who thinks he's a woman. And he kidnaps his victims and then they become his wife. Yeah. And you have to go through that guy's area. Fuck that. I ain't playing this damn game. So I just watched some of the gameplay on YouTube. I'll just watch some of it on YouTube, and then that was it. I don't want to buy those games because those are the types of games that I'll play just one time and never again. Whereas Resident Evil, I'll play those games again. I'll play Resident Evil 4, the remake again. I'll play RE8 Village again. Yeah, Attack of the Show. I remember G4 TV, but I remember it was Tech TV. Yeah, that's what it became later on. A new TV channel. I think it was Tech TV with Leo Laporte. He sold his company for like $300 million. Damn. Marty was the name with Morgan. Man, Morgan, she was so great. Oh man, she was so great. I remember. What was it? Was it Morgan Webb? Yeah, it was Morgan Webb. She was awesome, and she liked games. You could tell she was into the games. There was another host, the two chicks, Laura Foy. I remember her. Yeah, Laura was the chick on G4. Yeah, she was great. Oh, man. There were some babes in those days. Let me tell you. Now I don't know. Now you go out with some chick in her 30s and she's telling you about the psychological drugs she takes. I'm just not interested in that. Yeah, Attack of the Show. That was a great one. How's your new book? The one I'm reading? It's really depressing. It's on the Armenian genocide. It's a super depressing book. My son watches games played on YouTube as well as playing his own games. I stand by watching, bemused. It's a lot of fun. I like watching Dark Souls play through. Here's the thing is, when boomers start playing games and they start learning how to play games, they love it. It has nothing to do with your age. If you actually started to learn how to play the game and you played it, you would love it. I kid you not, I went to Burger King. Last week, I went to Burger King, and the Burger King was just empty, just like I like it. Nobody was there. Very few people were there. It was awesome. And I saw this. He looked like an older Gen Xer on his laptop, and he had one of those compact Windows laptops. It wasn't a Mac. And I sat behind him, and he looked so into his screen. He was so fixated on whatever he was doing on his computer. And I'm thinking this dude's probably working for some company or whatever. He's doing his job from Burger King. I passed by this dude. All of his Burger King is eaten. It's all on the tray. The wraps are all on the tray. I sit behind him. I turn around. Before I sit at my table, I turn around and I see the screen. This dude, this 50-something-year-old dude, is sitting there playing some old-ass MMO game. It was some MMO game with medieval aesthetics and castles and stuff. It looked great. And he was so into this game. I don't know what game it was, but it looked awesome. And it looked like it was made in maybe the early 2000s or something like that. He was so deep in this game. And I sat there for over an hour just eating my Burger King and relaxing. And this dude was still playing. And I'm thinking, man, I am so happy for this guy. He is living such a great life. No one is there to bother him. He's just at Burger King. There's very few people at this Burger King. He's enjoying his Burger King, and he is just deep in a beautiful looking game. I have nothing but joy for him, truly. I'm like, this dude's living the best life ever. He's living the best life, man. Some old 50-something-year-old dude just playing his games. It's great. Are there demonic influence games that you happen to buy and never ever touch them? There was a game that I played years ago, and I stopped playing it because it was so weird. It was called The Evil Within. And it was a game that was made by the same dude who directed RE4. So I thought, well, the same director who did RE4 directed this game, so this game must be good. Watched some reviews for it. Everybody said it was great. And I played The Evil Within. I started playing it. And this game is nothing like RE4. This game it's like the film The Nightmare Before Christmas. You're in normal life walking around, and then all of a sudden you're transported to this other world. There's demonic looking people walking around. They're trying to cannibalize you, and you're running away, and then you have to and I don't mind that. Like, I don't mind killing demonic zombies. That's fine. But the way that they do the game, there's a lot of cannibalism in it. There's some cannibalism stuff in it. And then there's a part of the game where you have to do this puzzle, and the puzzle has all these tubes sticking out or something. And then there's something there's like a needle that's connected to a human head, and the head is talking to you, and you have to interact. I said, I'm done. Fuck this. I'm out. I returned the game and got my money back. I said, nope, not playing it. So yes, there are certain games that I would avoid because it's just too weird for me, and I don't like it. Olivia Dunn. Yeah, she was great. Munn and Dunn. Olivia Munn, the actress. Yeah, she was on G4. They don't make them chicks like that now. No, they do not, my friend.